Vin Diesel wrote a very affecting introduction to a book, right?
Yes.
And Dungeons & Dragons, and explained your feeling about games. So I will quote you.
Okay.
He said, we were all drawn to the game because it allowed us to become these characters. Playing D&D was a training ground for our imaginations and an opportunity to explore our own identities. So obviously, gaming meant a lot to you as developing as a person.
Yes, it did, Peter. And this is, of course, a long time before video games.
Right.
In the 70s, growing up in New York City, early 80s, growing up in New York City, we played very intensely this game called Dungeons & Dragons.
I know it.
And we would go and we'd buy these large canvases and treat them to make it look like old maps, aged maps, and then we'd create these worlds, and we'd be in this campaign for 8 months. And even while I was bouncing, which is the antithesis of Dungeons & Dragons, even while I was bouncing, if I had a night off, I was playing Dungeons & Dragons. And what would happen is, aside from the fact that it is a training ground for your imagination, but when you would play as a character, about 2 hours into it, your voice would change.
Right.
Your body composition would change. At any moment, you could get up from the table and pull out a sword and, you know,
you're
be
more
as animated as you would want to be. So imagine Dungeons & Dragons with a table filled with artists, whether they're painters, whether they're actors, whether they're whatever they are. They're able to live in this world of imagination. And again, this is before video games. Right. So I don't know how Dungeons & Dragons would play now in an age of technology.